Depression is caused by determinants such as poverty, mental agony, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as want of self-command, dullness of the body, absent-mindedness, giving up of cleansing the body, and the like. Depression of men proceeds from anxiety, eager, expectation, and misery. Different modes of representing it on the stage includes giving up of cleansing the body in any way. Anxiety or chinta is caused determinants such as of wealth, theft of a favorite object, poverty, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by deep breathing, sighing, agony, meditation, thinking with a downcast face, thinness of the body, and the like. Distraction, moha, is caused by determinants such as accidental injury, adversity, sickness, fear, agitation, remembering past enmity, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as want of movement, excessive movement of a particular limb falling down, reeling, not seeing properly, and the like. Recollection, smriti. Recollection is remembering every condition of happiness and misery. It is caused by determinants such as impairment of health, disturbed nightly sleep, seeing and speaking with a level head, thinking, constant practice, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as nodding of the head, looking down, raising up the eyebrows, and the like. Contentment is caused by determinants such as heroism, spiritual knowledge, learning, wealth, purity, good conduct, devotion to one's superiors, getting excessive amount of money, enjoying sports, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as enjoyment of objects gained and not grumbling over objects unattained, past partially enjoyed, lost, and the like. Shame has improper action as its basis. It is caused by determinants such as humiliation and repentance on account of transgressing words of superiors or disregarding them, non-fulfillment of vows, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as covered face, thinking with downcast face, drawing lines on the ground, touching clothes and rings, and biting the nails, and the like. Is caused by determinants such as love, hatred, malice, impatience, jealousy, opposition, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as harsh words, rebuke, beating, killing, taking prisoner, goading, and the like. Joy or harsha is caused by determinants such as attainment of the desired objects, union with the desired, trusted, and beloved person, mental satisfaction, favor of gods, preceptor, king, and husband or master, receiving good food or food, clothing, and money, and enjoying them, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by means of consequences such as brightness of the face and the eyes, using sweet words, embracing horripilation, tears, perspiration, and the like. Agitation is caused by determinants such as portents, wind or rains, outbreak of fire, running about of elephants, hearing very good or very bad news, stroke of adversity, and the like. In the connection, portents include a stroke of lightning and falling of meteors and shooting stars, eclipse of the sun and the moon, and appearance of the comets. It is to be represented on the stage by looseness of all the limbs, sadness, distraction of the mind, loss of facial color, surprise, and the like. Agitation due to violent winds is to be represented by veiling the face, rubbing the eyes, collecting the ends of the clothes, or hurried going, and the like. Agitation due to heavy rains is to be represented by lumping together of all the limbs, running, looking for some covered covered shelter, and the like. Due to an outbreak of fire is to be represented by eyes troubled with smoke, narrowing down all the limbs or shaking them, running with wide steps, flight, and the like. That due to running about of elephants is to be represented by hurried retreat, unsteady gait, fear, paralysis, tremor, looking back, and the like. That from hearing something favorable is to be represented by getting up, embracing, giving away clothes and ornaments, weeping, horripilation, and the like. That due to hearing anything unpleasant is to be represented by falling down on the ground, lamentation, rolling about even on the round surface, running away, bewailing, weeping, and the like. And that due to popular rising Prakriti Igasana is to be represented by sudden retreat, taking up weapons and armor, mounting elephants and horses and chariots, striking, and the like. Agitation of these 8 kinds has hurry as its basis. This is characterized by patience on the part of persons of the superior and the middling types, but agitation of persons of the inferior type is marked by flight. Stupor or jadata is caused by determinants such as cessation of all activity, hearing of a much desired thing or a very harmful thing, sickness, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequence such as not uttering any word, speaking indistinctly, remaining absolutely silent, looking with steadfast gaze, dependence on others, and the like. Arrogance, garva, is caused by determinants such as kingship, noble birth, personal beauty, youth, learning, power, attainment of wealth, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequence such as contempt for others, harassing people, not giving reply to one's question, not greeting others, looking to shoulders, roaming at large, contemptuous laughter, harsh words, transgressing comments of the superiors, insulting others, and the like. Despair, visada, is caused by determinants such as inability to finish the work undertaken, accidental calamity, and the like. It is to be represented on the part of persons of the superior and the middling types by consequence such as looking for allies, thinking about means, loss of energy, absent-mindedness, deep breathing, and the like. And on the part of persons of their inferior type, it is to be represented by running away, looking down, drying up of the mouth, licking the corner of the mouth, sleep, deep breathing, meditation, and the like. Impatience is created by determinants such as separation from beloved persons, remembering them, sight of a garden, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequence such as sighs, thinking with downcast face, sleep, drowsiness, desire for lying down and the like. Sleeping or nidra is caused by determinants such as weakness, fatigue, intoxication, indolence, thinking too much, eating, soporific nature, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequence such as heaviness of the face, rolling of the body, rolling of the eyes, yawning, massaging of the body, deep breathing, relaxed body, closing the eyes, and the like. Epilepsy, apasmara, is caused by determinants such as being possessed by a god, a naga, a yaksha, a rakshasa, a pishacha, and the like. And a memory of such beings eating food left after somebody's partaking of it, staying in a deserted house, non-observation of proper time in taking food, in sleeping, etc. Derangement of humors, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequence such as throbbing, trembling, running, falling down, perspiration, foaming in the mouth, hiccough, licking the lips with the tongue, and the like. Dreaming or supta is caused by determinants such as interruption of sleep, enjoying objects of senses, infatuation of any kind, spreading the bed on the ground, dragging the bed over the ground, and the like. The dreaming which occurs in sleep is to be represented by consequence such as deep breathing, dullness of the body, closing of the eyes, stupefaction of the senses, dreams, and the like. Awakening, vibodha, is the break of sleep, and it is caused by determinants such as digestion of food, bad dreams, loud sound, sensitive touch, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as yawning, rubbing the eyes, leaving the bed, and the like. Indignation is caused by persons abused or insulted by those having superior learning, wealth, or power. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as shaking the head, perspiration, thinking, and reflecting with a downcast face, determination, looking for ways and means and allies, and the like. Dissimulation is the concealment of appearance. It is caused by determinants such as shame, fear, defeat, respect, deceit, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as speaking like another person, looking downwards, breaking the speech, figment, patience, and the like. Cruelty is caused by determinants such as arrest of robbers, offense to kings, offending words, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences like killing, imprisoning, beating, rebuking, and the like. Assurance is caused by determinants such as thinking about the meaning of many shastras and considering the pros and cons of things. It is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as instructing pupils, ascertainment of any meaning, removal of doubt, and the like. Sickness, vyadhi, owes its origin to an attack of three humors such as wind, vata, biles, pitta, and phalgam, that is cough. Fever and similar other illnesses are special varieties of it. Fever is of two kinds, that is that with a feeling of cold, sheath, and that with the feeling of heat, that is daha. Fever with a feeling of cold should be represented by consequences such as shivering, tremor of the entire body, bending the body, shaking of the jaws, narrowing down the nasal passage, dryness of the mouth, horripilation, lamentation, and the like. And that with a feeling of heat, it is to be represented by throwing out clothes, the hands and the feet desire to roll on the ground, use of unguent desire for coolness, lamentation, crying, and the like. The other types of sicknesses are to be represented on the stage by consequences such as narrowing down the mouth, dullness of the body, deep breathing, making peculiar sounds, crying, tremor, and the like. Insanity, unmada, is caused by determinants such as death of beloved persons, loss of wealth, accidental hurt, derangement of the three humors, wind, vata, biles, and cough, that is phalgam, and the like. It is to be represented on the stage by laughing, weeping, crying, talking, lying down, sitting, running, dancing, singing, and reciting something without any reasons. Smearing the body with ashes and dust, taking grass, nirmalya, soiled cloth, rags, potsherd, earthen tray as decoration of the body, many other senseless acts and imitation of others. Death, marana, comes through sickness as well as accidental injury. Of these two kinds of death, that from sickness is caused by determinants such as of malady of intensive intestine and the liver, colic pain, disturbance of humors, tumors, boils, fever, cholera, and the like, and that due to accidental injury is caused by weapons, snake bite, taking poison, attack of ferocious animals, injury due to falling down from elephants, horse, chariot, and other vehicles. Death from sickness is to be represented on the stage by consequences such as looseness of the body, motionlessness of the limbs, closed eyes, hiccup, deep breathing, looking for family members, speaking indistinct words, and the like. But death due to accidental injury is to be represented on the stage in different ways. Death due to wound by weapons is to be represented by consequences such as suddenly falling down on the ground, and the like. In case of snake bite or taking poison, there is gradual development of its symptoms, which are 8 in number: thinness of the body, tremor, burning sensation, hiccup, foam from the mouth, breaking of the neck, paralysis, and death.